Welcome, chum, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm ashamed you had to use that joke.
You know what? I didn't even go back to our original Jaws review to see if I used it there, because I may have.
Yeah, very likely.
But
anyway, I'm Mike.
I'm Andy, and tonight we are starting Jawstober.
Yes,
We're calling it Jawstober or Sharktober?
I was going with Jawstoberfest.
Jawstoberfest. Okay, even better. I like that even better. We're going with that. Jawstoberfest. To embark, if you will, on a voyage on a leaky boat.
Take a big bite out of some movies.
The inferior Jaws sequels.
Oh, very inferior.
Oh man, this is just a sliding scale of shit. Just when I thought it was safe to go back to the water. Yeah, Kurt.
That was the tagline of Jaws 2.
Yeah. And if I'm going to be discussing this, let's bring out the old Jack's Abbey here, and just to let y'all know, I don't have a problem. These movies have a problem.
Yeah.
So, let's do this. Have you seen this one before?
I have. I don't even bother asking me when I first saw it because I don't remember.
Okay. I have probably seen... I know I've seen it before, but again, just like you, I have no memory of watching a complete viewing of it until last week when I finally sat down and watched this crap. By the way, they're all on Netflix.
Yes, until October 31st.
Yes, I'm really appreciative that they told me that, so I could rush to see all four. If it wasn't for a project, I would have missed them. This is the most competent Jaws sequel. Okay, yes, Kurt. Here's the beauty of Jaws 2 is that it tricks you more than the other two that will follow in making it seem like it's as good as Jaws, primarily because I don't know if there's a better term for it other than 70s filmmaking. There was something that 70s aesthetic that Jaws did so well just this time with an inferior director.
The great director of Supergirl and an MC3K episode, codenamed Diamond Head.
That blew my mind when I found out that Jean-Noir Swak had directed that.
Yeah.
I remember him from Supergirl, Santa Claus the movie, because I think he was tight with the Salkinds because sure.
He gave him booze.
What else? He also did Somewhere in Time, which I have never seen.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big Suncoast seller.
Yeah, it was Christopher Reeve.
What's that?
It was Christopher
Reeve. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, my hair is just like floating in a way I just don't want it to. So I'm just going to not stop touching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of what positives I can say about this, it astounds me that Roy Scheider is so good in this movie because apparently he hated every single second he was on set. This was an obligation to him that he had to fulfill for Universal.
You know what? It's a good thing that they did have Roy Scheider in here and Lorraine Gary, because there really was no character development of any characters at all, and we only had character development of Brody from the previous movie that carries over into this movie. That's why it's a better movie than the other sequels.
Yeah, and I mean there's a really nice chemistry between the Brodies, and I like that. I like that carried in there, and that was no doubt just they had good chemistry together. And I like the fact that, there's still a couple that are really in love with each other. And she's willing to deal with what is his rampant alcoholism. Murray Hamilton, Jeffrey Kramer are also back. Yep.
Yeah, but they had a lot more to do in the first one. Hendrix
had a little more to do in this one.
Yeah.
But Murray Hamilton, I mean, the thing with Murray Hamilton was, first of all, kids, he essentially opened the beaches knowing there was a killer shark on its waters, and he still is the mayor of this town. So elections have consequences. So get out there and vote. I don't care how small and local your elections are. All politics are local politics. So get out there this November and vote for your town mayors or your school committee, for the love of God.
It's nice to know that endangering the public does not diminish your chances of getting reelected.
Oh, no, because he must have promised them that Holiday Inn. The height of sophistication.
The luxury hotel of a Holiday Inn.
And coming from somebody who lived on Cape Cod, which is, Amity is more like Martha's Vineyard because you did have to take the ferry to get there.
I mean, technically speaking, Amity is Martha's Vineyard.
It is Martha's Vineyard. It was shot on Martha's Vineyard.
Well, actually, parts of this was shot down in like Florida, I guess.
Yeah, but as somebody who lived in a beach community, a community that thrived on its summer visitors, I think that they'd all go apeshit over a Holiday Inn being put in, and not even like just like some like cornily named seafaring hotel. No, it's just a Holiday Inn.
Because guess who put the money up for this movie?
Holiday. Oh my God. This movie had insane amounts of product placement, which were not in the first movie. And I've already jumped ahead. I've already watched Jaws 3 and
3 non-B.
Oh, we'll talk next week about that because
yes we will.
Shit. But there's a lot more product placement in here. There's a lot of like, okay, here's your Kellogg's cereal, here's your Coca-Cola, here's your Dunkin' Donuts, those kinds of.
I want Fruit Loops, you get Cheerios.
But I want Fruit Loops. Well, one is from Kellogg's, but we're being sponsored by General Mills in this one, so you get Cheerios, kid. Those were classy back in the 70s. Oh, what, the Holiday Inn? All right. Speaking as the elder statesman here, I have no memory of going to a 70s Holiday Inn.
But apparently they had a big old pool in the middle.
Yep. And I love that guy is our new villain. Like the developer was our new villain who's like, just keep the beaches open. I got a hotel to fill.
Yeah. Why is he up in that shark tower that they must have built after the shark was killed?
I love that. I love the fact that they obviously put town money into this thing. And the second Brody goes up there to look for a shark, they get pissed at him. It's like, what's he doing up in the shark thing? Looking for sharks. How dare he? I want his badge by tonight.
I mean, and that wasn't there during 4th of July. During the first, so it must have been built after Brody had already killed the shark to keep an eye out for any other possible shark attacks.
Right, exactly.
Which he was doing.
Right. Because it's not, it's not like they're right next to the ocean. Go do what you have to do, because I've got a very long train of thought I need to follow right now. Is that the shark in the original Jaws was kind of aggressive, but aggressive in a way that sharks might behave if they are trying to defend themselves. Any shark attack that I've ever read about, the shark attack that inspired Jaws was not dude eaten by shark hungry. It was more shark felt like its territory was being encroached upon. You're splashing in its water. You might have been bleeding. Could have attacked that because I am.
Shark saw someone on a raft and thought it was a seal.
I don't get it. They're not even breaking the plane of the water, and the shark is like, well, gotta kill it. In this movie, this shark is a dick. This shark goes after everybody.
Yeah. I don't think a shark attack has ever occurred on someone that was water skiing.
No,
I may be wrong, but I don't recall that ever being reported.
Usually it happens to surfers, and surfers aren't usually pulled under by a shark. It's they wipe out, splash, maybe they, because blood in the water is a real thing. So shark attacks really do happen, but it's more of an encroaching thing, not, all right, I'm hungry. The other thing too is that usually if a shark does like chomp down on somebody, I think it would not want to continue eating. It's not like, I understand that sharks have to keep moving or else they'll die. I don't think it also means that I have the world's fastest metabolism and will poop out this diver that I just ate in my fine shark ribbon of poop before I can consume another one. Because this thing is like 1, 2, 3, done.
Yep. And the thing that most pissed me off about this movie compared to the first one is that with the first one, each death was significant. Each death mattered. I mean, Chrissy started the whole thing off, and like when they find her body, like they were visibly shaken.
Yeah.
This one, I was like, okay, you're dead. Okay, let's move on. You're dead. Yep. Let's move on.
Well, and that's the thing too. The body count in the original movie is pretty low.
If you count Quint, I want to say it's 4.
It's Chrissy.
Chrissy.
It's the Kittner boy.
Technically, it's a dog as well.
The dog, yeah. Well, okay.
It's the guy in the boat.
It's the guy in the raft.
And it's Quint.
Hal Gardner. Not Hal Gardner. That's the Green Lantern.
Ben Gardner.
Ben Gardner. And then Quint. So 5. 5 people are...
Might have been 6. Might have been 6 because I think there was 2 people in Ben Gardner's boat.
Okay. Whatever. It's a small count, but you kind of see, it kind of matters. I mean, the least substantial death out of all those was that boating instructor who you just kind of see his leg like fall to the fall to the bottom of the ocean. This one is just like it just one after the other. There's 2 divers. There's don't forget the dude who has legs. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah. The boating instructor.
Yeah. So there were a lot more deaths in this. The shark just kept attacking, like that boat. There's no reason for that shark to attack the boat at all, even if it felt threatened. I mean, I can understand the shark trying to attack the orca in Jaws because at this point they are harpooning it with stuff.
Yeah, this is a them or us.
Yeah, this is just fuck it, teenagers.
And it's not even I mean, the scene like towards the end when that I guess her name was Marge. She pushes Sean back up on the boat, and then the shark comes up,
swallows
for a second, and then goes back down. There's not even any blood in the water after that. It's just, oh no! Really?
Yeah, and the shark swallowed her whole too. That was the weird thing. It's like, just how do you have to perfectly line up, even for a shark as big as the one they're expecting us to believe are in Jaws? How is that supposed to line up where you just fit perfectly in its mouth and just get dragged off? No bites, no nothing.
Yeah.
And again, sharks won't hunt humans.
No. Sorry.
So there's that. This movie was more focused on the idiot teenagers of Amity than it was the Brodies. Oh my god!
And it gave none of them any development. I mean, I know one was called Tina.
That was a boat. Yeah.
And then there was Marge who got killed.
Right.
I don't know any of the other names. No, there was Larry Jr.
That's right. Larry Jr. was there. And Keith Gordon. And the only reason I know it was Keith Gordon because it was the actor Keith Gordon who was in Back to School. He was in Christine. He directed several movies. Him. Okay. Yeah. You just have to take my word for it. And then the Brody boys who are just, hey, what's the possibility another shark could attack our family again?
Yeah. And the effects, I mean, the effects in the first movie weren't great, but they didn't use them. They used them effectively and they didn't use them often.
Well, That's what I love about Jaws. My biggest takeaway from Jaws, which is a goddamn classic, is that it was saved in the editing room.
Absolutely.
It is a movie that was absolutely saved by the magic of post-production.
Fields, Verna Fields.
Yeah.
She won that Oscar, handily.
She was fantastic. Yeah, she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
This movie kind of, and I read a lot of trivia on this movie that the director wanted to go the opposite direction. They wanted a shot of the shark immediately. They didn't want to. The thing with what makes Jaws effective was that you didn't see the shark at all. And I think that was effective in just you don't see it coming, especially in the dark, especially underwater. It's kind of like the silent thing. Going into continually showing a very fake-looking shark. I mean, what's the worst shot in all of the original Jaws movie? Classic as it is, what's the worst shot in that movie?
For me, it's probably when the shark is on the boat and this guy.
Yeah, exactly. The only time it looks artificial, it looks like a robot shark.
Yeah.
That is the worst shot in the entire movie. So why not make an entire 2-hour movie with those shots?
And not even well done. I mean, because even then, yeah, you could tell it was a fake shark, but you couldn't see the mechanics. There is a very clear shot in this one, like when, like, Michael has been knocked unconscious. They're pulling him out of the water. The shark comes along. It just barely misses him. It goes along the boat. You can see the plastic pushing in against the boat, and you can even see the mechanical inside the mouth.
Yeah. Well, the other thing with it too is that there are times when Vernon Fields had to break up a fight between the director and Roy Scheider by sitting on both of them.
I believe it.
Effective. There are scenes in this also because the shark's mouth would open, but it would just kind of like pop open, like it was just again not how anything really works. It's just it really just pissed me off because this movie kind of fools you if you're kind of tuning in like 20 minutes in, you're like flipping channels. This might fool you into thinking it's the original Jaws. And again, it's because of the way it's filmed. Jean-Bernard Swark actually learned how to emulate the look of Steven Spielberg to an extent. It doesn't hurt either that John Williams was doing it for the paycheck.
Yeah,
he came back for this one.
Yeah, one of the things I did text Andy when I was watching it yesterday was John Williams did the score, but it doesn't feel like a John Williams score. It feels like he used all his best stuff in the first movie.
Well, he absolutely did. Again, one of his best scores.
Yeah.
And this is just, it's like, okay, just doing, yeah, okay, whatever. Fuck it.
The real sad thing is he scored this movie the same year he scored another one of his greatest all-time scores, Superman.
Yes. Hey, you win some, you lose some.
How can the same guy do Superman and then this?
Well, that's composers. Not every, there isn't one composer that 100% of their entire output is masterpieces. There simply is not. Even John Williams has some clunkers.
Yeah.
Fair. But this is, it's just one of these movies that, like, it's a disposable sequel. It has all the markings of a cash grab. And let's talk a little bit about those idiot teenagers towards the end. So first off, I mentioned to Mike, and anyone who's seen this movie, I mentioned to Mike that when he was going to watch it, there was a scene in it that was so super cringy to me. I wanted to know exactly when he came upon that. Oh, wait until Jaws the Revenge. I'll have to show you the video of the shark for the BBC showing the movie. You can seriously see the shark rig while it's stretched. Due to the 4-3 rig. Oh, God. Oh, man. That's going to be rough. The dog is even upset about that. So I asked Mike to text me the moment he saw the scene that was super cringy. And he texted me a lot with like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? No. There was a scene where what's her name has already been eaten by the shark, whole mouth swallowed up by the shark, and Sean is on the capsized boat, freaking out. Now, first of all, love these teenagers for having the sympathy of what was he supposed to be, like 11, maybe? Literally just watch a person die in front of him, and they're screaming at him, God damn it, Sean, get your shit together, get over it, that kind of stuff. Because, sure.
Yeah.
And then the second he finally comes over, Mikey's human thumb friend grabs him and hugs him. It would have been okay if that's where it ended, but it's not where it ended. He starts kissing him on the head, and I was just like,
yeah, I don't recall actually watching that moment. I think I might have been distracted by something. I think I was watching like the things in the background.
Okay, because I was just like, how is that okay?
I was constantly being distracted by his white boy afro.
Well, yeah, there was that. I mean, he's definitely the kind of guy that if he were a cartoon, the scent of food would carry him away as he's floating away on the scent. And also, I want to point out another thing about this movie that's so ridiculous. The shark took down a goddamn helicopter.
Well, what's great about that is it was a trick so great they used it again in the fourth one.
Oh, fuck, Mike. I haven't seen the fourth one. Now you're all spoiling it for me. Between the 4:3 ratio and the rig, now we're going to see that. All I know about the fourth one is that the shark roars at some point, and that Michael Caine gets knocked out of the boat and then gets picked up, and he's bone dry. Those are the things I know about this movie.
And it brought Michael Caine a really nice vacation home.
I'm sure it did. I remember I read that he opened up the script and said, exterior, Hawaii. He's like, I'm in. I've always wanted to make a movie in Hawaii.
That's why he couldn't accept his Oscar that year.
That's true. All the trivia that we know. It is.
I will say another thing in defense of this movie though. It would have been really easy to make like one of the characters, especially the teenagers, into a real dick. Especially like Larry Jr., like following after his father's footsteps.
Larry Jr. would have been here. All right, go continue your thoughts. I have a thought to follow that.
But for the most part, I found most of them actually, especially in the final climax of the movie, I thought they were actually fairly decent. There was not a single one that kind of stood out as, oh, I hope he gets eaten. He's a dick. No, they were all fairly nice kids.
Yeah. I mean, outside of them screaming at people who are in obvious shock. Literally, like it was. You compared it to that scene in Airplane where the woman is having the panic attack and everyone's like shaking her and slapping her. Yeah, they could have handled that better. But yeah, you're right. And the thing is that I feel like Larry Jr. should have been eaten by the shark had they not thrown in, which was so obviously done in post-production, when they voted Brody off as sheriff, and they said that the lone vote was the mayor's to keep him. It's like
we got to give him some kind of redemption from the first movie. Come on.
Yeah, so much blood on his hands. And then we climax this one. So the first movie makes sense. Okay, we've got these air tanks. Shoot that, blow the shark up. Boom. This one, undersea power lines.
First, let's have Brody crawl across, hand over fist, crawling along it, which probably not a good idea.
Well, it was. They were covered. That's the thing. They were covered.
And then he starts banging on it really hard, and then shoves it into a shark's mouth, and then is like about this far away from high electrical wires going into the shark. It's a good thing his dinghy is rubber, right?
Sure. He was wearing sneakers. Yeah. And the funny thing is too is that they mentioned it. At least they had the good sense of making it Chekhov's, electrical cables, because they mentioned it at the very beginning. And it's nope, you cut that, you cut the power of the entire island. So now shark's bitten into it. Island's out of power. How much do you want to bet that those alcoholics in Amity are all like they're going to run Brody out on a rail at that point? They appreciate nothing in that town. The only guy who's willing to take a friggin' just a Smith & Wesson and shoot it into the ocean because he thinks he's going to kill a shark with it.
Filled with cyanide bullets, remember?
Were those the cyanide bullets? I thought the cyanide bullets came after that.
No, because that's the last time he fires his gun.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That also means all those birds that were eating all the fish, they don't have long to live.
No, they don't. So, Jesus Christ. The people of Amity are the worst. I mean, even when he shows up, they're still the worst because they're still complaining. There's still noise complaints. It's like, dude, he went out there and he blew up a goddamn shark for you, and you didn't have to pay Quint.
No. All you need to do is there's a little fly. All you need to do is get him a cheap little like Man of the Year for 1975 with a little plastic shark.
But yeah, the little wreath. Yes.
Yeah.
I love too that, wasn't exactly a cameo by I'm sorry we missed your call, Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss had better things to do with that. Well, because that was
Oscar the year that movie was being filmed. So, goodbye, girl.
Oh, okay. Because Close Encounters was 77, right?
Yeah, 77 into 70. It's one of those weird movies where technically it's a 77 movie, but I think most people saw it in 78. Still,
okay.
Working with the guy who put him in Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah. And folks, it don't get any better from here. I think we've been talking about this movie for a half hour. I think that's about all the bile I can spew right now because, again, it's not going to get any better.
No, it's going to get much, much worse.
Oh, man. I don't know what the scarier part. It's like these are our Halloween episodes. This is the entire month. And it's like, what's scarier? The shark that's going to come kill you come, hell or high water, literally, or the fact that these movies are just, how do you just fail this Can you name another movie series sequel, just a part 2 that failed so horrifically from from its original, which is championed as being one of the greatest movies ever made? 2 weeks, my friend. 2 weeks, and you were joining us for that one. But think about that, though. Are there any other movies where, especially in this time, where sequels are almost unheard of?
I know there are some, but I'm blanking on them right now.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? If you have any ideas, post them in the comments below.
Please post them in the comments below. We want to know if there's a movie that was so well regarded and then they came out with a sequel and the sequel is just like, were you even trying? Airplane 2. Okay, Temple of Doom. Well, I mean, the thing with Temple of Doom is, as much as I have a distaste for that movie, it's still like, you can tell there was some care and it was the same creative team.
Yeah, as much as I want to slap Willie every time she starts screaming, which is every scene she's in.
Exactly.
The movie is not unwatchable.
Right. But I can agree with Airplane 2. I mean, well, Caddyshack 2. Kurt.
Yeah,
How soon honestly, we forget?
I haven't seen Airplane 2 in so long that I can't say one way or the other until I've actually watched it again.
Right. Exactly. And from what I remember about Airplane 2 is that it's just that it tries too hard.
Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 2, I figured. Yeah. It tries a little too hard to emulate it, and it's simply not. So yeah, I'm really interested if you think of any other movies, especially stuff that it was like Oscar caliber, like Jaws.
Yeah.
I mean, because you think about it, especially in the 70s, we got The Godfather, And then we get The Godfather 2. And The Godfather 2, in my opinion, is better than the first Godfather. Oh, you know what, though? I did think of one. Starring Roy Scheider. The French Connection 2.
I didn't even realize they made a sequel.
They did. And it's awful. The Exorcist 2, The Heretic. So, yeah, now they're rolling in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that, honestly, I think the thing that pisses me most off about Jaws 2 and even more so about Jaws 3 and Jaws Revenge is that the first movie was such a classic and it kind of created this kind of monster genre that so many other movies were made to just kind of rip off. Yeah. And then Jaws 2 came out and it just became a rip off of what the original Jaws started.
Right.
None of the deaths meant anything. It was all about, oh, this monster's killing and we need to kill the monster. And it wasn't about like the what these deaths are doing to this family, what these deaths are doing to people, what the quest to end this. It was just like, let's blow it up.
Right, exactly.
There's no care.
The big thing with the original Jaws was that it was about how is this shark going to economically impact this entire island of alcoholics. I'm sorry, but this is what you do in the off season. But I like that was an actual thing. In this movie, the shark is killing more people. They just built the goddamn Holiday Inn. Mm-hmm. Okay, just whatever. There is no concerted effort or an organized effort to take this shark down at any point. It's all vigilante justice by the now dethroned Sheriff of Amity, Martin Brody.
Yeah, and the first actual proof that the shark is around is a half-scared teenager in a boat.
Yes. That is it.
Not a beach full of people seeing the shark kill someone. It's this teen we found in a boat. She's there. She saw a shark. Okay, cool. Proof.
Exactly. What are you doing out on the boat? Oh, just trying to get laid.
Put down the blanket. We've got black and blues on my ass.
Yes, the 70s swimwear left everything to the imagination.
Oh yeah, and in fact, in that beach scene, it's so nice that fact that there's so much tension built up that they can still fit in a nice fat joke and then have lingering shots on some 70s asses and bikinis.
Yeah, but it's full coverage bikinis though, in that weird like tan.
Yeah,
this was a 70s thing. Sadly, I remember that. So anyway, we want to know, what are your thoughts on Jaws 2? Leave the other two out of the conversation right now because those are coming in the next couple of weeks. But leave a comment below. We want to know what your thoughts are. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, this is the first time you're seeing a Geek Salad Retro Review, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our playlist. We've got about 100 of these now, I think.
Wow, really?
Cool. I went back because I started putting our Pixar stuff into a playlist. I'm like, I think we have over 100 retro videos now. The best acting in this is blonde girl on the rafts who was screaming her head off the second half of the movie.
Now, was that the blonde girl? Was that Tina, the blonde girl, or was that the quote-unquote girlfriend of Mike who was having a panic attack? She was brunette.
I think, like you said earlier, Mike, are the names even important?
Fair enough.
It's Mike, it's Sean, it's Keith Gordon, and Tina because her boat was named after her.
Yeah. Jackie was Mike's girlfriend.
Okay.
Blind date.
The one that was just like, get a hold of yourself. It's going to be all right.
You saw the people with the boxing gloves, the pipes, the gun, I love Airplane.
I love Airplane. I almost said, I love Airplane too. No, I love Airplane as well.
Yeah. That would have been
and with that, folks, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone who's watching us live. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like, do all that stuff. Share. If you like what you see, let your friends know. we're out here. We're talking about it. Mike and I also host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast from. We are currently in the midst of working on our next episode where we are going to be counting down the top villains and antagonists of comic book movies that were theatrically released, feature length, and theatrically released. So there's a wide net there. But I'm very interested in seeing what we get there. You can check out our current episode too, where we talk about the best debut albums of rock bands, some of the stuff that we love. So check that out. Also,
Wow, Stallions!
You can get that podcast wherever you get your podcast. And also, if you're not already doing so, follow us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. Check out our merch store, which is woefully out of date now, and I really need to take some time to do that. But I am lazy. So anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
Well, hold on.
Oh, I caught this live. I'll watch the replay. Nice, thank you. Thank you. Check that out. Check out some of our retro videos as well. Like I said, we got a ton in the playlist, and we'll be back next week to discuss Jaws 3D,
which I have a very personal story about. Trust me.
Yes, I love that story, and as I was watching it, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You were young though. So
yes,
we'll talk about that story next time. But until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Stay out of the water and go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.